Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out the GitGud Course. Instead of just understanding concepts, you'll learn how to implement them directly into your driving. What makes it effective is the approach and practical drills. Together, we're gonna focus on breaking down those complex concepts into small digestible bits that are simple to understand. Everything from the course was tested and refined during the years in coaching sessions, so what I ended up with was the ones that I saw were the most effective. Let's elevate your racing skills together. Now for the track guide. For turn 1, what I'm using as a reference for braking is the 50-meter board. I want to brake slightly past the 50, so right now I'm applying the brakes. And what's super important into this corner, since this leads to a big straight, is to be early on power. So what I'm doing here, from 5th gear to 3rd, I try to apex very closely to this white line, so kissing the white line around the curb but not touching the curb. Even if you touch the curb just a little, it will push you more to the outside, and meaning that you will have to drop off the throttle, or you will go too far on the exit on the white side and you will get either the off track or you will spin. So the main focus here is apexing without touching this curb. So notice that at all times I'm just kissing the white line around here. Just kissing the white line and being early on power. The moment that I press the throttle is around here. So at this point I'm already back on power. This is super early. It's even earlier than the middle of the corner, which should be the rule in a lot of corners, but because you have a bit of camber into this corner, there's a lot of grip on the inside. And you have to take advantage of that grip by being early on power. So right now, smashing the throttle and using all this space right here. You can go all the way to the grass and you won't lose time, but you will also have to steer the car left so you won't pick the grass cuts. That's gonna be an off track if you do that. And really important to be early on power because you will gain on this big straight. Now heading to the next corner, the reference for braking is the end of this concrete on the left side. So whenever the exit road here stops, right now I'm applying the brakes, and in this case, in this lap, I braked way too hard. You want to find the minimum amount of brake pressure that will make you still take the corner, because right now I braked 65 and that's a bit too much, 66, and now I'm losing. If you look at the delta, while trailing into the corner, I'm losing more and more time. This was just because the braking, so I lost here 1/10 because instead of going to 55% pressure, I went to 65. It's a small difference, but I think as a mindset, keeping the minimum speed up into the corner is gonna help you a lot, not just on this track, but on every track and in every corner. Again, you want to be on power before... Excuse me. You want to be on power before touching the corner. So right now, you're still going on throttle, and by the end that you get the middle of the corner, you have 100% throttle. That's the highlight in this corner. Really want to be early on power, because again, now you have a big straight. And for the next corner, I'm apexing around this white line, so getting very close to the inside here, so that I can make my braking into the next corner as straight as possible. Because right now I'm trying to straighten up the wheel to brake diagonally towards the tire power with blue. And whenever I'm hitting the white line around here, I will turn more and more into the corner in 3rd gear, still trailing, but as soon as I get to the inside right here, again, there's more grip on the inside, and I want to take advantage of that grip. And whenever I'm here and I feel the compression and I feel that the grip is there, I'm smashing the throttle. Initially I give it a bit of a blimp because the car will feel loose because you're going from right to left, and the car can feel like it's oversteering. You can feel that it can spin, but the moment that you press the throttle, you bring a bit of weight to the rear tires and the car gains its balance back. So super important to be early on power here. You will get pushed all the way to the right side, that's perfectly fine. You're gonna apex around this curve right here. And if you have a good run, this is just a big straight, right, up until the downhill part. So the earlier you're gonna be on power in that corner, the more time you're gonna gain into this big straight. So everything is flat up until the descent. Here I do a big mistake though. I will point it out. So I lost half a second of lap time in this part just because I braked way too slow initially. So what I'm trying to do, first of all, I'm trying to bring the car to the left side because I want to go diagonally towards the right so that I will have the best line and the best braking possible. It's funny that it didn't happen, but in theory, that's how you should do it. So right now I'm aligning the car so I will follow the red wall around here, and whenever I'm going downhill, I don't want to brake whenever I'm in the uphill part. I want to brake when I'm going down. So right now this is almost a good place for braking. You can even go slightly more, like right here, to apply the initial brake. That's gonna be your marker for braking. You can use that orange part of wall, and whenever you're close to it, you're gonna apply the brakes. What happened though is that I braked way too softly, like 24. I should have gone to 30, 35, and because I have this low amount of pressure, right now the car is not stopping. So I try to bump it up, but it's compromised. Instead, what you want to do is the following. You want to brake a bit harder initially, and at this point, you want to stay glued to this compression here. You want to still follow the white line, so instead of pushing it wide like I'm doing here, you have to be more closely to the right side. And at this point, usually you're gonna give it a blimp of throttle. In my case, it was not possible just because of the initial braking. But at this point, you want to be more on the right side, push the throttle, and you will have a better run into this corner. If there's something that you can take away from this, is that even if you miss it, you will still have to focus on braking with the steering wheel straight. Notice that I didn't force the car too much on the ideal line because I knew I did not have the grip. Also, staying in third gear is gonna be key, especially here on the exit, so you can gain a lot by avoiding going into second gear. Now for the next corner, this is one of the most important corners as well because it leads to a huge straight. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to brake whenever I see the end of this white wall around here. I'm applying the brakes, and initially I brake softly because I want the car to still turn to the right. But then whenever it's pointed and now I have the steering wheel straight, I will bump the pressure. So I'm going 35, 35, 40, and in third gear, I'm turning now to be very close to the blue wall around here. You have to be that close to the wall if you want a good exit, because at this point, whenever you see we have a smaller wall on the left side, which is not that tall as the first one, that's the point in which I want to be on power. And now while going on throttle, I'm able to go from 0 to 100 without too many corrections. That's gonna be key here. So hitting that 0-100 without limping the throttle and without taking too much time to build up your throttle input. And right now, just a big straight. Onto the braking zone at the 100, slightly after the 100, I'm applying the brakes right now, and you want to brake hard. Right now you have your car's top speed, and in general, whenever you hit your top speed with a Formula car, you will brake closely to 100% because it means you have the maximum amount of speed and also the maximum amount of downforce. So you have to use that downforce to slow it down. I'm braking after the 100, hitting 100% pressure, and in fourth gear, apexing closely to the white line. Don't touch this curb. If you're gonna touch it, it's gonna be more difficult. Better to avoid it. You will touch though this one right here. You will go over it without taking the off track like that. And now going into the last corner of the track, I'm looking at the 50-meter board. I want to brake slightly before the 50, so at this black pole, I'm applying the brakes, more likely closely to it. You don't want to brake like 100, but you will go like 90 for sure in this corner. So it's a heavy braking zone, but not as heavy as the previous one. The main thing is that you're braking downhill. And if this wasn't a downhill braking zone, I think 75 would be enough. But because you're going downhill, you have to brake a bit harder. And in third gear, again, don't hit this curb. It will bump the car and it will make your throttle application to be later. Instead, going very close without touching it, now you can turn a bit more to cut this white line like that, so you have a good exit and not go all the way to the grass. But in short, that's a track guide of Bathurst. Unfortunately, this wasn't my best attempt, far from it, but I didn't have enough time this week to put more laps. I don't know if you know, but I'm working on my sim racing course, which is something very different than what's available on the market. I focused a lot on putting the theory into practice and showing you exactly how you should apply the concepts with a lot of examples, a lot of track work. So I think it's gonna be, if you're gonna consider it, I think it's gonna make you quick, very, very fast. And because of that, because I'm still adding episodes to the course, my time schedule is a bit packed. But anyways, thanks for sticking around. I wish you good luck for the next week ahead, and I'll see you on the next track guide. Bye bye.